Hello and welcome back. Glad you've tuned in today. And I'm here with an update from Variety.com, and it is a reason to rejoice. So let's get straight into this. So the article says the UK media watchdog, the Independent Press Standards Organisation, IPSO, has upheld 2 complaints lodged by women's rights charities against Jeremy Clarkson's December column in The Sun about Meghan. Variety can reveal that after a months-long process, IPSO found that the Grand Tour host's column breached Clause 12 of the regulator's editor's code of practice, which relates to discrimination. The case marks the first time in its 9-year history that IPSO has upheld a complaint on the basis of sexism. As a result, The Sun has been instructed to publish a summary of the regulator's findings in the spot where Clarkson's column regularly appears in the print edition and reference the decision on its front page and website homepage for 24 hours. Something the tabloid hasn't been forced to do since 2016, when its front page, Queen Backs Brexit, splash was found to have breached press regulations. So IPSO CEO Charlotte Dower told Variety in an exclusive interview, quote, "This is the most significant sanction that we would impose for an individual complaint. It's not about whether or not people are offended by something or whether they dislike it. It's specifically about whether it has breached the editor's code," end quote. Dower continued, quote, "We wanted to be really clear about what specifically the complainants thought in the article had breached the code, and then, as a fair process requires, get the publication's position on that," end quote. The ruling reveals that The Sun fought IPSO's decision and took the case to the Independent Complaints Reviewer, a third party that oversees the regulator. The Sun argued that it removed Clarkson's online article following public outcry and that its publisher, Rupert Murdoch News UK, issued an apology in print and on its website in December. However, the reviewer rejected The Sun's bid and did not uphold the tabloid's request for review. IPSO received more than 25,100 complaints from the British public about Clarkson's column, an astonishing figure that broke the record for the most complaints ever received by the organization for an article. The column led Amazon Prime Video to distance itself from Clarkson despite his hit UK original show Clarkson's Farm. As first revealed by Variety, the streamer won't commission any new programs with the former Top Gear presenter in the future, while Clarkson has thrown doubt over this decision via social media. Sources indicate that the relationship is over. IPSO announced in February that it had launched an investigation into Clarkson's article, which was published on December the 17th. The article headlined, quote, "One day Harold, a glove puppet, will tell the truth about a woman talking expletive," end quote. So in the column, Clarkson wrote of Meghan, how much he hated, and of course I covered that, so I won't go into detail on his grotesque comments here, but if you want to know more, click the link that will appear here in the card or at the end screen. But he did talk about hating her on a cellular level. And he also made that infamous Game of Thrones scene reference. And of course, a lot of people, they complained. The Watchdog took forward complaints from 2 groups as well. The article goes on to say the Fawcett Society, a UK charity championing for gender equality and women's rights, and the Wild Foundation, which provides specialist training to grow awareness of domestic abuse and its impact on women and girls. The group said that they were affected by the breaches of Clause 1, accuracy, Clause 3, harassment, and Clause 12, discrimination in the article. So in its ruling, IPSO found that Clarkson's column made a, quote, pejorative and prejudicial, in quotes, reference to Meghan's sex, which related to Article 12, but did not uphold other parts of the complaint. So on the passage in the ruling, point 33 sheds light on how the committee arrived at its decision to uphold the complaint on the basis of Meghan's sex. So this is what was written, quote, "The committee first considered the references in the article to the Duchess's sex. It is noted that the article's headline described the Duchess as a, quote, woman talking expletive. The article cited 3 people as objects of the column's hatred, the Duchess of Sussex and 2 other women, Nicola Sturgeon and Rose West, and the only clear common characteristic between the 3 was their sex. It also highlighted that the Duchess is seen as a female role model as being pretty cool in quotes, and referring to her influence on, quote, younger people, especially girls, end quote, and the feeling of, quote, despair which this prompted in the columnist. It stated that the Duchess had, quote, obviously used some vivid bedroom promises to turn the Duke of Sussex into a warrior of woke, end quote, which in the view of the committee was a reference to the stereotypes about women using their sexuality to exert influence, and also implied that it was the Duchess's sexuality rather than any other attribute or accomplishment which was the source of her power. Finally, it referred to a, quote, dream of the columnist in which the Duchess was subject of humiliation and degradation. Any of these references individually might not represent a breach of Clause 12, however, they were employed in the context of the columnist expressing his hatred for the Duchess on a, quote, cellular level, end quote, and together they served to highlight the Duchess's sex, while the article also used humiliating imagery which played on the negative stereotypes about women, end quote. So the regulator's rejection of discrimination on racial grounds will be of particular interest in the UK, where racism in the media has been a key criticism by Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan. The basis of this particular complaint was the columnist's reference to Meghan transforming Harry into a, quote, warrior of woke, which references anti-racism activism. So the Complaints Committee explained in its decision that the phrase did not amount to a pejorative reference to her race, end quote. And they went on to say, quote, the committee acknowledged that the reference could have connotations beyond plain meaning of words. However, the phrase is used in association with a wide range of social issues, not limited to issues concerning race, end quote. So this article is just breaking down how they came to that decision. And of course, I will also give you a chance. Share with me your thoughts on whether, in fact, they should have held, Clarkson responsible for targeting Meghan based on her race. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. So the article goes on to say, in response to the ruling, the Fawcett Society CEO Jemima Olchowski said, quote, since it was established in 2014, IPSO has never upheld a complaint about sexism, and that changes today. This landmark decision is a real opportunity for our media to catch up with what women have known for years. Misogyny and hate are not acceptable, and they can no longer be dressed up as satire or banter. Misogyny that normalizes violence and coverage that blames women who experience violence have no place in our media or anywhere in our society, end quote. So she also went on to say that the decision will help to elevate, quote, the state of public discourse about women and tackle misogyny in our media, end quote. So they are basically rejoicing in that win. They are rejoicing in the fact that at least the sexism portion has been called out. Variety said that it reached out to, Meghan's team for comment on the ruling. So let's wait and see what they will say about this. One way or another, there is a win that has been had here. And it's fantastic that the Sun now has to, according to this ruling, take huge responsibility in not only that so-called apology that they put out last year, put out in the wake of all of the complaints, but as I've read to you, they will have to publish a summary of the regulator's findings in the spot, the same place where Clarkson's column appeared in the print edition, and reference the decision on its front page and website homepage for 24 hours. The last time they did this, as the article said, was back in 2016. And this is a huge win. Let's just rejoice in the win, because in the long run, this will truly hold, especially these tabloid outlets, to a standard that if they do not want to have this happen to them, that they're going to have to take special care of those type of hit pieces that they put out on people that they do not agree with. And they will have to write things that are based in fact, not just a hateful article where people are, stirring up negative sentiment against someone, which I think is what that column by Jeremy Clarkson was all about. So as Meghan or Prince Harry put out any statement, basically responding to this ruling, I will cover it here, so just keep it here. And it's great to see that you all who lodged your complaints, you are seeing something being done about this, as well as, these organizations who complained and, they said that this breached the editor's code. And yes, some accountability, right? So let's rejoice in this. You significantly made a difference. All the 20,000 plus complaints that all the members of the public raised on the issue of that article. And now we're seeing some massive steps here. So it may have taken some time, but justice has prevailed. So I want to share this good news with you. Now share yours with me in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, a special thank you to all who support this channel through your giving. And I would like to shout out a couple of you here by name. A special thank you to you, Magdalene J&O Baptiste. Thank you for your kindness and support for my work here on YouTube. I love you and appreciate you. You are so, so kind. Thank you. Thank you as well to Gail Tapscott. Thank you for your comments and the ways you choose to engage on this channel, for being such a tremendous encouragement and boost to my work. Thank you for your love. I do appreciate you. And once again, a special thank you to Cookies and Cream. Cookies and Cream, thank you. I appreciate how consistent you've been, and know that I love you and I am praying for you and your family. Know that I love you and I appreciate you once again. God bless. Once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially. You are so meaningful to me and I do love you. And if you liked this one, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. It truly does help out the channel, and I thank all of you who do. And click that notification bell to be sure to know anytime a new video is uploaded. Keep it here for more, and if you want to watch more videos, click the links in the cards and at the end screens, and I will see you there. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.